Hiya, papaya! How are y'all doing? Welcome back to some Sapphic Sunday! Yay! Woo! Woo! Just dies after. How are we all doing? Hope we're all doing well. Hope y'all having a good Sunday morning, afternoon, time of day. Insert your time here. I don't know. I'm having a pretty okay one. It's pretty normal. Nothing exciting has happened. I woke up. I woke up. Hell yeah. Watch all of you. Hell yeah. I'm slowly catching up to Jellyfish. I'm on episode. I just finished watching 6 and 7 this morning, and I still have, I think, 4 more to catch up to. If I remember the amount that's currently out right now. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Look at you going. Saturday Sunday. These are 30s in demand. A 31-year-old idol, divorced, with a daughter. Wow. He is indeed in demand. Hell yeah. Well, yeah, I woke up, put my earbuds in their charging case after I fell asleep with them in. Because we were doing silly things last night. Yep. Very silly things last night. But yeah, I put my earbuds away. Fell asleep to something very silly. Very silly. Very silly indeed. Did hugged my hug my plushies as you do. Gave me more pats and kisses, as I'm doing right now as well. But yeah, nothing exciting has happened. I've been supposed to be working on something for a friend for the past week, but I have not been in the mood to work on it, so that's great. Lol. I'm never in the mood to do art. This is so sad. Well, anyways, we're back to the fairy secret. Last time we returned back to Fenchapel, we saw... I forgot his name. I don't remember his name. I want to say Edward, but that's not it. It's close to Edward, I think. I forgot. We saw this guy. I can't see his name in that tiny text. Dude, bro, McSussyton. Dude, bro, McSussyton. Totally. But yeah, we saw him. Not Lisbeth. Leoff's brother. He is apparently alive, which I technically already knew that, because he's in the spin-off game. I forgot the name of the spin-off game, but the boys love spin-off game. Where he gets the goth boyfriend, a very funny goth boyfriend, which is I find very funny, as a little parallel to Lisbeth and Marnie. Well, yeah, I'm doing a silly little dance right now for some reason, cause ADHD, cause the tism. But yeah, and then we went to visit the church. And we're supposed to, on our way back home, Grandma's new caretaker is supposed to show up soon. And she allegedly looks like Lisbeth's sister, who was the dragon. who was also supposed to be dead. But then again, this guy is also supposed to be dead. So, who knows what's happening? We also totally don't know anything about the fairy Titania somewhere in the forest. Nope, totally not. The fairy queen Titania totally is not somewhere in the forest, and we did not totally open the game up with seeing Titania. Totally not. Totally didn't see a very tall, pink-haired fairy queen named Titania. Totally not. Alright, let's get ready to do some accents for the whole stream, because Marnie has an accent. And Lisbeth talks like Fischl. Prinzessin Dudford Ertelon. Here we go. Summer days. Oh, I guess the tuning voice time. The sun's golden today. Kiss the top of my head the moment I leave the church. I think it's even warmer than it was earlier, because sweat instantly begins to bead anew at my brow. How charming! Not. I hope it doesn't get much hotter as day wears on. I wouldn't like want my makeup to run. That'd defeat the whole purpose of applying it in the first place. My black eyeshadow might look kind of cool, at least running down my cheeks in spattery lines. I've tried looks like that before, just for the hell of it. But my mother always sucks in her breath and looks in alarm when she sees me traipsing about the house with enough dripping mascara to rival a jilted bride. I don't think she's a big fan. Not that she seems particularly appreciative of any of my looks. As a genius, I am sadly fated to be misunderstood by all. Sob, sob. I raise my arms above my head, stretching and glance about. The sun might be hotter, but the graveyard itself is just as empty as it was when Lisbeth and I first arrived here. I cast my eyes across some of the lichen spotted graves, reading the names embroidered upon them. I spot my grandfather fairly quickly, Frank Lennox, his grave being one of the newer ones, the raised earth and mould on its foot strewn with flowers. I wonder if my grand's been here recently. She might have left these flowers, but there could also have been Aunt Allison's handiwork. She and Ruby and Pearl live over in Immingham. It's not so far from Grimsbury. It's unlikely this offering would have been left by Uncle Stefan. Stephen. That's how he's supposed Stephen sometimes. He lives out in Barton. Aunt Alida, who I think is living in York. She moves so often enough, it's hard to keep tabs on her. Uncle Jim, meanwhile, is in the doghouse, verbally speaking. After that hoo-ha over his trying to admit Gran into an old folks' home. My mother still isn't on speaking terms with him. I've seen Uncle Jim. I've not seen Uncle Jim, or Aunt Elaine, or David, or Oliver, in ages. Past my grandfather's grave, I can see rows of older tombstones belonging to people whose names and faces I can't place. Dinah Pruitt, Clovis Howard, Timothy Reynolds. I tried to conjure images of the dreary departed in my head, based on nothing more than their names and the brief snippets provided on their tombstones. He shall be missed. Wait a second, my lips dry. What was Dinah Pruitt like, I wonder? Her surname puts me in mind of a serious woman, like Victorian schoolmistress, with a high forehead and a hooked nose. Pruitt sounds like it might be a good name for a gardening implement. Come think of it. It has an earthy sort of sound, maybe because the double T is at the end. It's not a very common last name. I don't think I've ever met a Pruitt before, beyond the deceased Dinah. And it'd be a lie to say I met her, really, given she died about a century ago. I've not even met her corpse, buried too far beneath the earth. I can imagine that she might have looked like, though, and how she might have acted, and what her voice might have sounded like. I imagine Clovis Howard, too. His name's Posh, so I figure he was some sort of a gentleman. It's not hard to imagine Timothy Reynolds, though. His name makes me think of the landscape painter. But according to his tombstone, he died when he was only 3, too young to even make satisfying finger paintings. I entertained myself at the graves thus, lost in my own little world until... Hey, Marnie! Yes? I turn my eyes away from Miriam Spencer's, or is it Spencer's, unkempt grave, and turn to Lisbeth askant. Is something wrong? I'm not exactly sure. This may be my imagination, but... Do you feel like there is something strange about this graveyard? Beyond all the dead bodies buried underneath our feet, you mean? Oh no, I do not think that is very strange. That is what a graveyard is for. I am not bothered by the dead. I am more concerned that somebody may at this moment be observing us. Really? I scanned the graveyard, but try as I might, I can't see anything untoward. I don't feel like I'm being observed. I don't think there's anybody else out here, Lizzie. Other than us, I can't sense anything, at least. With my zero magic. Do you not sense anything wary? Not really, no. I see. Lisbeth sighs. Perhaps I am being paranoid, though I do not think that is the case. I have felt on edge ever since we emerged from the church. Something does not feel right. It is almost as though... Lisbeth scans the trees which surround us. Her brown eyes narrowed. I am being collared by something. Something? Yes, something. Okay. This is strange to get kind of freaky now. It's strange to get kind of freaky now. Forget the dead. Sorry, me and Spencer. But Lisbeth's one-woman performance is creeping me out way more than a bunch of dusty old bones ever could. And what do you think this something wants? Do you have any idea? I am uncertain. My senses, however, are telling me, and keenly, that it is waiting for us deep in the wood, in the forest. I think it wishes to speak to us. And you mean to what? Walk right up to it? Give it what it wants? If communicating is with it will give us answers, then yes. I fear that is what I must do. I know I may be walking into a trap, but please, try to understand. Something has been amiss since we first arrived in Fenchapel. It could not have been a coincidence that we had met Edmund. His name was Edmund, not Edward, though it was close. Wow. The odds are very slim, and very convenient, and very normal. I cannot say why he was brought here, but perhaps there exists a being in the forest who can tell us. Perhaps it wishes to aid us. I don't know. I scuffed the grass with my boots, taking care not to kick any stray dirt onto Grandpa Frank's grave, or the flower placed there by a mysterious hand. I'm sure now that they were an offering from Gran. Since when did there exist anything in the forest that wanted to help us? All we got when we went there last time were creepy and disembodied wisps, skeletal knights, and a dragon. I don't know if I want to face down a bunch of supernatural monsters again. You will not have to. Not if you're with me. I will protect you, as your knight. Worry not, Marnie. Lisbeth smiles at me, but her expression is too strained to be consoling. I wish she didn't look so anxious. It'd make it easier for me to place my faith in her. Not that I don't trust her, because I do. I distrust the forest, and all the strange creatures that lurk within it far less. Intriguing intro to entering my chat. Interesting way to walk into someone's chat. Sarek. Welcome. Welcome. No harm will come to you when we are together. I promise you that. And there she goes. Hey, Lisbeth, wait. I called my girlfriend, but it's in vain. Lisbeth has already set off. I think she really means to pursue our invisible observer, whatever it is, and though I can't feel its gaze upon me, I find myself stuttering, regardless. I don't want to get into the woods, but I don't want to leave her on her own. I suppose I'm not technically alone. I'm surrounded by companions, but for once, corpses aren't cutting it. Wait for me, damn it! Don't leave me on my own. I'm not very nightly of you. So saying, I hurry along behind Lisbeth, almost stumbling upon my platform heels in the process. And together, we both venture into the forest. Ugh, I really don't like this place. I glance about the forest fretfully, my eyes darting here and there. Fenchapel's forest looks about the same as I remember it. It's pretty scenic, I guess, but I can't forget what happened the last time I came here. It was deep in the forest, well off the beaten track, that I ran into Lisbeth. I'm glad I met her, of course, but my life hasn't been the same since our chance encounter. Clearly we escaped a lot of hairy situations, and though we came out fighting, I'd rather not fight again. It's not like I have my fighting skills anyway. I've never used a sword before. If we were to get into an altercation, that'd be completely useless. Just checking stuff real quick on my phone. We're good. Nothing's happening. Alright, we're good. It's this awareness of my own shortcomings, I think, which makes me feel so hesitant. the forest might look pretty. Sure, but looks can be deceiving. Just like Lisbeth used to think about she was Leof. Leof. The forest could be... No, scratch that. Definitely is. Hiding a whole lot of unpleasant, unpalpable secrets. Lisbeth's unease about the invisible eyes watching her out in the courtyard makes me feel even more on edge than I otherwise would have been, if such a thing is possible. Try though I might, however, I can't detect any signs of any visible observers. I guess that makes sense, since they're, you know, invisible, but still. But when I first ventured into Fenchapel's forest, I got the distinct feeling something was wrong. I only saw flashes of movement from the periphery of my vision, but I heard ominous whispers and could feel eyes changed upon me. Right now, however, the forest feels incredibly ordinary. There's no malicious laughter, no creepy whispers, no weird taunts. Everything should be fine. So why is my stomach all tied up knots? Hey, Lizzie. I hurried to keep pace with Lisbeth. She striding on ahead, her expression focused. She isn't paying me very much attention, which is unusual, given how she usually acts. During our previous sojourns to the forest, Lisbeth prioritized my safety above all else. Now, however, she seems wholly focused on achieving her own goals. She's so focused, in fact. I have to take a hand for her to pay me any heed. Lizzie? What? Lisbeth drops one of my fingers intertwined with hers. Her expression softens when our eyes meet. Is something the matter? I have no idea. I was hoping you could tell me. You've been striding around so purposefully, but I have no idea what it is you're looking for. Can you hear something I can't? I do wonder about that. To answer, however, I will first need to take stock of what it is precisely that you can, and cannot, hear yourself. Can you really not sense that something is wrong? I shake my head. And you cannot hear anything strange? I shake my head again. Lisbeth presses her lips together, her expression ponderous. How peculiar! What's peculiar? What's going on? Lisbeth doesn't reply to my query at once. Instead, she glances about her surroundings. Her brow is furrowed, and then... I can hear your voice. It is calling to me. It is unmistakable. I thought I might have imagined it, standing in the graveyard, as I was, but it is impossible to ignore. I am surprised that you cannot hear it. Okay, 'cause that's not at all alarming. I guess I've got two possibilities to contend here. Those being A, Lisbeth is going crazy, or B, Lisbeth isn't going crazy and some creepy fairy is communicating with her telepathically. I can't say I like either possibility all that much. No, Lisbeth, don't follow the voice. Your girlfriend is right there. I am tempted to go with the latter. Lisbeth never shown any signs of insanity before, setting aside her inexplicable fondness for Valentine Roth, but that creates way more questions than answers. If the fairies of the forest are talking to Lisbeth and Lisbeth alone, what could they possibly want with her? What's their endgame here? Naturally, I have no idea. I find it hard to tell what other people want me to do on any given day. Working retail does that to a girl. Some customers are impossible, let alone what fairies might want. They're not even human, and from what little I know of them, they're even more unreasonable than the worst customers. The ones who demand non-existent discounts and pitch fits over items that are out of stock. Sigh. Are you sure you want to keep going, Lizzie? I try to sound cool, but my voice cracks despite my best efforts. What am I? A teenage boy? How very suave. Maybe we should turn back. While I append inside my head, we still can. I think this is a pretty sensible plan as far as plans go, but Lisbeth doesn't look convinced. I apologize, Marnie, but I cannot do that. Not when I am being called hence. I want to find out what it is that voice wants. Surely it must be reaching out to me for a reason. I'm sure it does have a reason, yeah. That being that this is all a huge setup. You don't trust the fairies, do you, Lizzie? Remember, stranger danger. We don't know what they're after. I do not know about the particulars, no. But I understand at least this much. They want me. I must find an audience with them. That is imperative. The voice sounds, after all, as though it is in pain. It does? Yes, indeed. The mysterious speaker sounds anguished. They are in dire need of attention, whoever they are, and I fear I am the only one who can help them. I cannot abandon them. You can return to the village if you wish, Marnie, but I will not be swayed. This all sounds very altruistic, on paper at least, but... Oh, as if I couldn't do that. You know I can't leave you, Lizzie, out in the middle of the forest. And why is that? I'll be perfectly fine, you know. I can look after myself. I mayn't be a knight. I mayn't be the knight I thought I was. But I want you to leave enough times to pick up the basics. My skills with a sword are adequate. I know that. I did see her face off against the dragon. But I'm not about to abandon you. How could I? We're supposed to be a team. We're supposed to be a team. And I'm sticking with you no matter what. And that's final. Even if you find yourself in danger as a result. Even so. Who's going to protect you, Lizzie, if you find yourself in harm's way? Edmund told us to keep out of the woods, but I figured it'd be safer if we stayed together. And anyway, you're my girlfriend. I love you, and I'm not going to let you go off on a wild goose chase, hunting down voices only you can hear. It's the perfect setup for a whole movie. What a fairy story. Something's weird's going on in this wood. I just know it. You can't face it alone. Marnie! My impassioned cry is, at least, enough to make Lisbeth slow down. She looks to me, her eyes soft and gentle, freed at last of her militant determination when... Oh! A noise makes Lisbeth start. And for once the sound I can also hear. It's the distinctive sound, not of a giggling fairy, but of something rather more mortal. It sounds like footsteps. Alarmed, Liz's fingers reach instinctively for her head. As they do, her attire changes, her casual clothes melt away to reveal the coarse green tunic she wore when I first found her in the forest. Huh. Lisbeth summons a sword, which she grips, all while glancing about the forest furtively. I forgot you could do that. I forgot she had magic. Then in a soft whisper she says, "Can you hear that, Marnie?" "Yeah, I can." I'm not sure whether I should be relieved I can finally detect something suspicious, I was tired of being left in the dark, or whether I should be freaked out. In the end, I settle for a strange cocktail of emotions that's somewhere between the two. It sounds like somebody's coming. Or something. Lisbeth turns this way and that, the ponytail fluttering in the breeze. Eyes narrowed, she crawls up to the trees and the hedgerows which surround us. "What are you? And what do you want? What is your purpose? Show yourself, villain, else I will run you through. I will not permit anybody to lay much as a finger upon my Marnie." I'm not so very scared that I can't feel a bit of thrill at Elizabeth's possessive words. Her Marnie indeed. But the sound of the nearby footsteps pour cold water on my jubilation. He's tapping of a twig underfoot. A distinctive crunch and then... Wait a moment, I think you have the wrong... Ha! Idea? Lisbeth, in her attempt to intercept our interloper, winds up tripping, quite spectacularly, over her own foot. "Lizzie! Ow!" Lisbeth hisses in pain upon the impact, her brow furrowing. Oh dear, this is not the reaction I was hoping for, I must say. I apologize, Lisbeth. I would not start you unduly. You! Disoriented, and yes, discombobulated. Lisbeth pulls us off into a sitting position. Teeth gritted, she glances about until her eyes seek out those of the man who started us so. She growls, then she says in a voice filled with venom, "What are you doing here, Edmund?" Oh, it's Edmund again. I thought whoopsies. Cut and bruises. Get involved in an accident. This cut is quite a deep one. Edmund kneels before Elizabeth, who's perched on the edge of a tree stump, all the while examining the bloodied mess that was once her right knee. Look at the baby. Look at the baby, Lisbeth. I love her. I don't think it's serious enough to need stitches, but you should try to clean it as soon as possible. I think we need to get you back to Iris's house, but it's quite the distance. Will you be right by yourself? Well, of course I will. I am a knight, you know. Take the possum. In a stretch. I would not think to argue against that. Your skills of the sword are, undoubtedly, superior to mine, though that has little bearing on your current state. I worry you won't be able to walk as you are, and without causing yourself a considerable amount of pain. Your worry is appreciated, but unnecessary. I will be fine. Like I said, look! Lisbeth races to her feet, her teeth gritted with determination, but as soon as she does, she stumbles. No! Lizzie. For the love of... A touching Edmund catches Lisbeth before she can topple to the ground, then sets her back down on the tree stump. I did say that your knee was in poor state. Why didn't you listen to me? Why, you ask? Lisbeth pouts sulkily. I don't want you to think of me as being weak. as a weak, hopeless little girl. I might be younger than you, but I am not stupid. I never said you were. It sounded like your own insecurities are getting the better of you. That or your own stubbornness. In that regard, you are very much like my sister. It is no wonder Leaf favored you so. Edmund looks over at Lisbeth for a few moments. His expression gentle. I think he might be reminiscing about his sister. My great, etc., grandmother, with whom I share my blonde hair and blue eyes. This sentimentality, lasts only a few moments, however. Ahem. Edmund clears his throat, then resumes his investigation of Elizabeth's wounded knee. It is plain to me now that you cannot manage by yourself, despite your bold claims in the country. I would feel guilty making you struggle back to Iris's house in your state, so I'll make you an offer. Would you like me to carry you? What? Elizabeth stares at Edmund aghast. Face was already pale after just giving him knee, but it looks even paler now. Surely, you cannot be serious. I am, though. I'm very serious, in fact. I'm not a knight myself, but I fancy myself a gentleman of sort, and I have no desire to see a young woman such as yourself, suffer, particularly not when you were so precious to my sister. Abandoning you in the woods would not sit right with me. Such an act would be unkind. So, I think bitterly, was chasing me through the forest and tried to cut my head off. At least he seems a little more amendable now, though. If you wanted to run me with Lisbeth through, you would have had ample opportunity to do it that already. Maybe you really can be trusted. I have no real need of your aid, you know. I do not want to be treated like an invalid, or as a silly, swooning maid who needs to be rescued. There we go. I can look after myself. Here, Lisbeth's face twitches, perhaps owing to the spasm of pain in her bloodied knee. But I suppose part of being an adult is knowing when to accept the aid of others. Do not think that this puts me in your debt, however. You are the one who ought to seek my forgiveness, after all, for the hardships you subjected myself and Marnie to. I am aware of that, yes. Do not worry, I have not forgotten all that awful things I did to you, though. Wish I could. I expect nothing in return for my help, Lisbeth. You do not even need to be grateful. I only hope that you might one day grow to trust me. Or at the very least, not dislike me. Hi, Kokimi. Hi! Edwin rises to his feet. Even offers Lisbeth to sit back. Right up here. I can hold on to you. Will you really be able to support me? It should not be an issue. I am bigger than you are and stronger, I fancy. When it comes to brute strength, at least. My headphone wires tangled. Not good. I did this often with my sister when she was a child, when we were children, and she got no scrapes when she went frolicking in the forest. I am quite used to it. Oh, very well then, if you insist. Mm. Look at her. Look at the angry baby. Look at the angry baby, the angry little bean. Lisbeth pads over to Edmund uncertainly, then winds her arms about his neck. He takes her legs in both his hands and then hoists herself into the air. Lisbeth is clinging to Edmund so tightly, she looks like a koala. Her cheeks are puffed against the nape of his neck, and her arms are wrapped about his shoulders. Her lips are pursed into a pout. When I meet her eye, she blushes. Don't look at me like that, Marnie. Like what? Like that. It's embarrassing. I don't like being reminded of my own failures. I don't think it's a failure, Lizzie. We all have accents. Marnie is quite right. There's no need to be petulant. You're fussing over nothing. Now, are you quite secured? I think so. Good. Hold on tight then. I would hate to drop you. And I would hate to be dropped by you. I feel awfully high up. How in the world did you get so tall? That I cannot answer. I suppose I was simply fortunate. My father himself was a tall man, though. Leaf was not. She was even littler than you are. She's even feistier, though. Edmund smiles to himself, lost his own reminiscences. As he picks his way through the forest overgrown paths. I follow along at his side, my pace leisurely. Edmund might be a good head taller than I am, but his long legs aren't doing him many favours when he is encumbered by Lisbeth. He has to walk slowly to keep her balanced on his back, his hands wound tightly underneath the backs of her knees. Together, the three of us wend our way through the woods. The dense foliage overhead begins to thin out, and sunlight filters back to the uneven floor from between these gaps. As we walk, I look to Edmund curiously, then ask, "So, what are you doing here?" "In the forest, you mean?" "Yeah. It seemed like quite the coincidence that Lizzie and I ran into you 2 days in a row." "You've not been stalking us, have you?" "Perish the thought I have better things to do with my time than pursue an unruly pair of maidens such as you." "No, I wasn't stalking you." "What an accusation. Though perhaps it is a good thing our paths did cross. Otherwise, Lisbeth would still, I fear, be slipped over in the forest." I'm just gonna go be right back real quick. I'm back. Hello. Hello, hello. Well, I'm back. I covered the lesbian with the be right back sign. Whoopsie, sorry about that. No, it's not stalking you. What's an accusation? Though perhaps it is a good thing our paths did cross, otherwise Lisbeth would still, I fear, be slumped over in the forest. Yes, yes. This is all very fortunate for me. You truly are a knight in shining armor. Lisbeth scowls. Her discomfort at her current precarious position is so obvious I can't help but snort. It's rare that she ever gets this pissy. Lisbeth is, for the most part, a cheery, good-natured kind of girl. I guess Esmond brings out the worst in her. Maybe she's embarrassed. She thought wrongly, as we all know. He was her brother for so long. Really? I think, while smiling, she looks pretty cute when she talks like that. So, why were you in the forest if you were not following us? What manner of coincidence caused it our paths to cross? I was working. I thought you worked at worked for my gran. I do. But I have also taken several other odd jobs around Fenchapel to replenish my dwindling resources and money. The local parish employs me to keep St. Mary's graveyard neat and tidy. It is a task I meant to be busy myself with when I saw you and Lisbeth slinking into the woods. I feared something might be amiss, so I thought I'd follow you. And it was to my benefit. Your benefit that I did. I told the pair of you not to go into the forest. Why in the world would you ignore me? I did not know I was under any obligation to obey you, Edmund. You are not, after all, my real brother. No, I'm not. Even if I were, however, I doubt that you would have listened to me. We never did either. It seems as it is my lot in life to be saddled with the overseeing of the petulant young maidens, who care not one jot about my advice. It always seems to be in one ear and out the other with girls such as yourselves. Do my words mean less than air to you? I did not warn you for the sake of it, you know. I was being serious. He sounds it too. I'm actually starting to feel kind of guilty. I hope it didn't make him worry too much. I'm sorry. I didn't want to run into the woods myself, but Lizzie insisted. She said there was something in the trees that was calling at her. The whole thing sounded pretty freaky. Calling to her, you say? Edmund frowns. Do you know what this something was? No, I don't. This might sound strange, but my memory feels very fuzzy, very hazy. Also, something I just realized. My clothes turned back to normal. They're no longer the green tunic I was wearing mere moments ago, when I had dried my sword. It seemed important to me, at the time, that I should seek out this mysterious speaker. It was so important, in fact, I thought fit to ignore all of your advice. But now we are almost out of the woods. I can scarcely remember why I felt the way I did, or what it was I thought I heard. It is all like Marnie said. Very freaky. Oh, it's more than freakish. I would call it alarming. And potentially dangerous, too. I cannot pretend that I know what is lurking in this forest myself, but I would ask you to heed my words regardless. You ought to stay out of the woods. Otherwise, you may find a bloodied knee to be the least of your worries. Lisbeth and I eventually returned to Gran's house, thanks to Edmund's timely help. He sees the two of us off at the doorstep, but they'd take care of yourselves. To which Lisbeth replies, staring scourly at her feet, "Oh, we will." I've never been one to mind my own manners, but Lisbeth's reply is so lackluster, it even bothers me. I note Lisbeth in the side, and scold her in the most austere voice I can manage. And what else do you have to say to And what else do you have to say, Lizzie? I might be a skinny teenager myself, even smaller than the most 14-year-olds, but I'm pretty good at acting like a teacher. I got scolded often enough back in secondary school. It's my po-faced PE teacher, Miss Whitman. Thanks to all my timely well-timed periods, Lisbeth glowers, obviously perturbed, before forcing out an awkward, "Thank you for helping me, Edmund. It was very good of you. I appreciate it." Not to worry. You needn't mention it. I rather think I owe you, after all the hardships I put you and Marnie through. Yes, I rather think that you do owe us. See, Marnie. He said I do not need to mention his kindness. Now I seem overly conscious. I hardly think that there's any harm in being too polite. Your thanks are most welcome, even if they are necessary. I'll be seeing you later, I suppose. I suppose you will. I fear I will not be able to avoid you. Do you wish to avoid me? I do not know. I am still very unsure about all of this. I hardly blame you for that. I am rather perturbed about all this myself. Take all the time you need, and do not feel obligated to trust me if you find yourself incapable of it. I know you would not trust me either, if I were in your position. After Edmund takes his leave, I usher Lisbeth inside, one arm wound around her shoulders for support, and sit her down at one of the chairs in the kitchen. Gran, thank goodness, isn't present. Did I just click by accident again? No. Gran, I think she might be in the living room, perhaps wading her way through one of her books. She prefers historical romances, all chirp and sleep nonsense. Sleuth nonsense. Or maybe working on her 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. I don't want to trouble Gran over Lisbeth's disheveled state. Gudney looks nasty. I hasten to run a ward of kitchen towels under the tap, then press it to Lisbeth's knee. Lisbeth winces at the cool water seeping into her chair. Lisbeth at the cool water seeps into her cut, but otherwise remains mute. Are you right, Lizzie? I'm not pressing too hard, am I? I am not. No, I am quite alright. I can handle this much, at least. I would be a poor sort of knight, indeed, if I was reduced to tears all over a bit of water. It only stings a little bit. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Lisbeth's cut, I soon discern, looks worse than it actually is. The wound isn't all that deep. There'll probably be a bruise, but I doubt it'll cause any lasting injury. I wash and dry Lisbeth's cut. Distinguishedly. Gently. Then boot about it. Sorry, zoned out again. I wash and dry Lisbeth's cut. Stared, gently. Then root about in an old tin of Fox's special chocolate biscuits. For I know, in the past mishaps of my own, Gran keeps the plasters. I apply one of the larger plasters on Lisbeth's newly washed knee, then step back to admire my handiwork. Lisbeth looks a lot better than when she did, with all that blood and mud gone. Which is almost as good as new, though there are a few stray leaves, I note, twined through her auburn hair. I lean in, plucking away these stray bits and pieces of vegetation, frowning as I do so. Melissa said to Edmund earlier, as he escorted her through the woods, returns to me upon seeing this scattered greenery. Taking relief from the unclear origin of my hand, give me a break, I'm not a country girl. The only trees I know by sight are willows and horse chestnuts, and only 'cause the latter drops conkers in the autumn, I say. Can you still not remember what you heard back in the woods? No, I cannot. I apologize. I've been racking my brain, but I cannot, for the life of me, remember what I thought I heard, or thought I saw. It feels like my head is full of fog. My memories are all a blank. Is that so? Hearing voices nobody else can hear is typically a sign of madness, but I don't disbelieve Elizabeth. I know only too well that the forest, which enveloped Fenchapel, is full of peculiar beings. I've heard them whisper to me once before, seen skeletal warriors rise from the dirt, witnessed a large, scaly dragon hovering above the trembling bout of all the tall green trees. Fenchapel's forest is full of mystery and magic. Lisbeth and I have only just scratched the surface. I bet there's a whole world lurking among the trees, just waiting for us to discover it. I have no idea what the forest wants from Lisbeth, but I think I'll side with Edmund on this matter. We'd do well to keep away from it. Lisbeth and I while away the rest of the day at Gran's house. Neither of us feel like venturing too far afield. Not with Lisbeth's wounded knee. We both hang about the lakeside in the garden, idly chatting. I'm back again. Sorry, do something. I had to go do something real quick. But we are back. Almost forgot to. Wow, how dare. I know. We'll hang about the lakeside in the garden, idly chatting. Then later, the living room. Gran set herself up in the living room for the afternoon, and she's busying herself with some knitting. Her needles clank together comfortably, while the TV drones in the background. Lisbeth and I work on the 1,000-piece puzzle between us, all while half watching the TV. There's some program, sort of very funnily, on about excavating old antiques and hauling out antiques for sale. I've read that really wrong. There's some program on about excavating old attics and hauling out antiques for sale. No, clearly I said it right the first time. Clearly they're excavating old antiques and hauling out attics for sale. Clearly, that's what they're doing. Excavating antiques and hauling out attics for sale. Clearly, that's what all you Brits do. Oh. I was like, oh, there's an email. Video blocked from some territories. Insert title of the video here. I should not read out loud because it's not from my channel. Lol. Oh dear, I'm way behind. I'm not gonna, oh, too late. I had multiple weeks to work on this thing. I have not started because I am not in the mood to do art. Oh well. I'll figure out something to do. I can also maybe give it to them, like, I don't know. I start eventually. I'm not super interested. It's a pretty low effort TV show, obviously designed to pad out BBC2's airtime. But some of the antique pieces handled by the overzealous presenter are rather pretty, I suppose. I don't know when it's. I forgot when the actual day is. But I'm running short on time. I don't think I have enough time to finish doing the thing. Not to work. I'm particularly taken by with an old dollhouse from the Victorian era. It has a neat slant roof, each grey tile meticulously detailed, and the teeny tiny furniture arranged in the different rooms is adorable. Time passes like this, slowly and sluggishly, until, at long last, mine and Lisbeth's antics are interrupted by the ring of the doorbell. Oh, I know who thou be. Jane should be here to check up on me. I would go and greet her myself, but... Nan glances down at her knitting, with a large ball of wool that's rested on her lap, like a dozing cat. As you can see, I'm in the middle of something. I wouldn't want to drop any stitches, and this chair is awfully comfy. Would you mind seeing Jane and Marnie? Sure thing. I would have suggested I get the door, even if Gran hadn't asked. I don't want to make her shuffle up to and from the front door. Goddamn typos. I wouldn't want her to shuffle to and from the front door when she's nice and settled, her feet propped up. Plus, I want to meet this mysterious Jane myself, to see whether she looks as striking as Edmund said. Does she look like Lynette? I suppose I'm about to find out. Oh, the doorbell's ringing again. Okay, I'm coming. Hold your horses. Not so fast, my lady. Please, let me accompany you. I do. I, too, would very much like to extend this Jane woman a warm welcome. I exit the living room, Lisbeth at my heels. Whoa! We have maps of the entrance hall. Whoa! New background! We traipsed through the dining room, then the hallway, all the way to the front door. I reached out for the handle, taking a few moments to prepare myself. Then, my expression set. I curl my fingers, tie it around about it, and twist. The front door swings open, and when it does... Huh. Plain Jane. She looks awfully familiar. Oh! Lisbeth and I are greeted by a face we know very well. A pair of blue eyes are set in a pale face. The nose is high and haughty, the lips pressed into a small frown. Long silvery hair cascades about a set of slender shoulders, though most of this voluminous hair is tied up in a high ponytail. Edmund wasn't kidding when he said Jane was was the spit of Lynette. She looks exactly like her. Jane's clothes aren't much like Lynette's, I suppose. She's wearing plain camisole and a pair of blue denim pants. But her apparel is irrelevant. Edmund was wearing a button-up shirt and a pair of slacks when Lisbeth and I ran into him in the woods earlier. But that didn't make him any less Edmund. His ordinary, everyday clothes, meanwhile, don't make Lynette any less Lynette. If she really is Lynette, that is. The woman, Lynette, or is it Jane, stands at the doorstep of Grant's house. Her eyes sweep over us, Lisbeth and I, and then... Why, hello. Why, hello there. It's lovely to meet you. I was expecting Iris, but I suppose you've come to answer the door on her behalf. Lynette greets us in a light, cheerful voice, like a twittering bird. Like a twittering bird's. I'm guessing... I'm guessing you're related to Iris. She said her granddaughter was going to be paying her a visit. Now, I wonder which of you has been at Marnie. I believe she said her Marnie was a bit of a goth, so... Lynette places one hand beneath her chin, then observes us, a small smile playing about her lips. Will that be you by chance? No, yeah, that's right, I'm Marnie. It's, nice to meet you? I replied to Lynette's query, though half-heartedly. The lion's share of my attention is focused upon Lisbeth, who looks utterly shell-shocked as well she might. Edmund's warnings weren't enough to prepare me for this. This woman might look like Lynette, but she didn't act like her. The Lynette I remember was sly, mischievous, and cunning, and she was no stranger to me or Lisbeth. She recognized Lisbeth at a glance, but she did not make a single indication that the pair have met before. She isn't paying Lisbeth any attention at all, in fact. Her eyes are, in actuality, focused solely upon my made-up face. Which, TBF, is a pretty normal reaction. Whenever Lisbeth and I go out, I'm always the one who commands all the stares on account of my clothes and my makeup. Between us, Lisbeth is the real oddity, given she hails from the Dark Ages, but you wouldn't think it's too... You wouldn't think it to look at her. Her clothes are all pretty standard. Cream blouses, high-waisted skirts and the like. She only looks like she's about to attend a run fair when she's wearing her night garb, which she doesn't have, because to dawn very often. It's not every day she finds herself confronted by brigands and criminals. Which... What about this Jane, though? I have no idea what to make of her. Well, it is very nice to meet you, Marnie. Now, what about you? Are you another one of Iris's relatives? This query, though well-meaning, makes Lisbeth wince. She takes a step back, fingers curling into fists at her side, and quakes. The hurt which flickers across her face is unmistakable. No, Lisbeth tries to gather her bearings, but her voice, which she doesn't find, when she finds it, comes out in a soft, uncertain stammer. I'm Lisbeth, Marnie's girlfriend. I'm the one who drove her to Fenchapel to see Iris. Lisbeth, is it? Lisbeth. What a name! The name does ring a bell, but... Jane ponders for a few moments, lost in thought until... Oh! Now I remember! Iris told me a bit about you two. She had a granddaughter, had a girlfriend, and oh, what a sweet thing you are. You said you drove her over here? Lisbeth nods. That's impressive. I hate navigating all these twisty, turny roads, and I'm in my 20s. When did you get your license? It can't be very long ago. You look so very young. I passed my test a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago? My goodness, you must be very clever. No, I am not. Not really. I would think you are. You sound more confident with the road than I am. But not to worry. I'm a dab hand in the kitchen, at least, which is why Iris employs me. Now, do you girls want to help me with the tonight's dinner? They say too many cooks spoil the broth, but you both look like you have good heads on your shoulders. I'm not sure you'll be great help. That is, if you're interested. I'm sure you'll be great help. Would you be interested? I understand if you'd rather be on your own. I wouldn't want to bore you. Oh no, it's fine. We don't mind helping. Do we, Liz? What? Oh. We would be more than happy to help, miss. Oh yes, I didn't tell you my name yet, did I? Excuse me, I'm a little scatterbrained. My name is Jane. Jane Goodfellow. That sure is a last name. Those sure are great names. It's pleasure to meet you, the two of you. I really do hope we get along. Lisbeth and I spent that evening in the kitchen helping Jane, that is her real name, prepare the dinner. I wash and peel vegetables while Lisbeth rolls out the pastry. Lisbeth's face remains set as she works. Her expression, the grim, determined one of a woman about to head into battle. It's not the sort of face you'd expect someone to wear while working on a meat and potato pie, of all things, but I suppose there's more important matters waiting on my girlfriend's mind than food. Lisbeth might be something of a glutton, but not even the promise of a perfect pie can deter her from the melancholy musings from Jane. I know I'm making some pretty big assumptions there, but I think they're fairly safe to make. I can't stop thinking about Jane either. She looks like Lynette, but she doesn't act like a thing like her. She doesn't talk like her either. Jane engages us in conversations while we work, or at least she tries to. Elizabeth's replies are more syllabic, in a light, lilting sort of voice, and she's prone to burst into girlish laughter. Jane sounds exactly like the sort of person who'd enjoy a fairy kiss chiller you'd expect to dedicate their lives to helping the elderly, and nothing like the medieval witch she ought to be. This woman might be wearing Lynette's skin, but doesn't seem to possess any of her memories. She's not empty-headed, though, because she's able to talk while cutting and cooking meat for a pie, which is no mean feat. It's just I know I struggle with multitasking, particularly when food prep is involved. Then, when the pie emerges from the oven half an hour later, it looks delicious. It tastes delicious, too, as I later found out. Sitting at the dining table, with a smiley Gran and a mute, thoughtful Lisbeth. Jamie departed 10 minutes prior. Grant can't sing Jane's praise enough as she tucks into the slice of meat and potato pie with extra gravy. Grant says Jane is a godsend, but I'm less than reassured. It seems much more likely, given our past experiences with screwy fiery magic, that she is, instead, some kind of monster. What she wants from us, however, remains to be seen. Why has she decided to inaugurate herself with my Gran, and why does she look like Lynette? I think about that while I'm eating, then while I'm washing the dishes, but I'm unable to come up with a conclusion. I feel completely confounded. This confusion persists long into the night, after I've wiped my face clean of makeup in the bathroom mirror and taken a quick shower. I changed into my pajamas, then pad over to the bedroom. Lisbeth is already dressed in her own sleepwear. It is curled up beneath the sheets. I thought Lisbeth might be reading. She's been making short work of Dean Coots she brought with her, which she borrowed from Dad's collection, but the paperback is lying on the bedside table, untouched. Lisbeth isn't doing anything, or so it seems, other than staring at the wall, her brow furrowed. Lisbeth? I approached her hesitantly, with the same delicacy one might afford a startled animal. Lisbeth is taller than I am, just like 80% of the population, but she looks uncommonly small and fragile right now, all curled up on her side. The night is so still. I'm afraid I'm of disturbing it. And of disturbing Lisbeth, too. I don't want to upset her. Lizzie? I wonder for a few moments if I should reach out and touch her. But that might be presumptuous. As touchy-feely as she is, Lisbeth doesn't seem to be in the mood for close personal contact. I tried to put a little space between us. A trickier task than it might sound, given this bed isn't all that big. When I next say, "Are you alright?" I know it's a stupid question, of course. It's clear from a glance that Lisbeth isn't alright. But I'm not sure how else to address her. Lisbeth doesn't seem like she's about to spill the beans on her own. She needs a bit of prompting. She might be churlish to push her now, but I can't exactly console her if she doesn't open up to me. I want to help her. I'm not a knight. There's no way I'd be able to wield a sword, but I am Lisbeth's girlfriend, and of course, I care for her. I care for her so much it hurts seeing her like this. I don't think I've seen her look so sad before. Not for a good long time. Silence, however, is all that answers my query. Lisbeth says and does nothing. Her eyes are still trained on the wall. For moments I worry she'll feign sleep, which she really doesn't want to talk. But "Oh, Marnie!" Lisbeth eventually turns to look at me. It's pretty dark and not Leda's old room, but I can see despite the veneer of midnight blue clinging to everything, that Lisbeth's eyes are moist and her cheeks are flushed. It looks like she's been crying. She must have realised, with a sudden rush of sympathy, been sobbing by herself while I was in the shower. It's no wonder she hasn't been reading. I found it hard to focus on books and all the tiny texts, best of times, and puzzling out sentences with eyes full of tears would be like the opposite of all that. Marnie, I don't know what to do. I never thought I'd see my sister again. I tried to make peace with her disappearance, but I still have many regrets. Yeah? Like what? Oh, you know, I regret that I labored for so very long under a delusion. For the longest of times, I thought of myself as Leaf and had no idea who Lynette was. I believed that she was a wicked witch out to harm me, when really, the opposite was true. She only ever cared for me. She wanted me to come to my senses, but I was too stubborn. Lisbeth laughed sweetly. That is just the way I am, I suppose. In some regards. A dose of stubbornness can be a good thing. It stops me from giving up. But in this case, it was to mine and Lynette's detriment. I acted awfully to her. I must have upset her a lot. I didn't know it myself, not at the time. But when a beloved family member fails to recognize you... Lisbeth's face twists. It hurts. I can imagine as much, though I've never been in a similar situation. The thought of one day waking up to find my mother and father regarding me as a stranger sounds more terrifying than any gory grindhouse movie I've ever seen. It took me so long to realize who I really was. And to realize who Lynette was too. I had no idea how much she really meant to me. Then, when I finally did realize that she was my older sister, it was too late. I barely had a chance to speak to her before she disappeared. If only I'd come to my senses sooner. There's still so much I wanted to say to her, and so much I wanted to do with her. I wanted to spend more time together, just like real siblings. I wanted her to know that I regretted all my selfish actions, and I really did love her. I tried my best to communicate that in the briefest bit of time we had together, but I am unsure if I was able to do so. I'm not the best with words. I tried. But Lisbeth sniffs. I don't think it was enough. That's why I hoped that Jane might really be my sister. I wanted to make amends, but I'm afraid that I can't. Jane might look like my sister, but she doesn't act like her. Not in the slightest. I can't believe that she really is Lynette. She must, instead, be wearing her skin. That or owing to some wicked spell that she's been made to forget about me. That she no longer knows who I am. I've finally been reunited with her, but I can't say or do any of the things which I wish to do. This is how things are to be. I wish this Jane had never appeared in my life at all. I feel so lost. I don't know what to do. Listen. I sigh in sympathy for my sobbing partner, as yet more tears sluice their hot, salty way down Elizabeth's cheeks. The sobs are so desperate, I worry she might choke on them. She looks small and fragile, but I no longer worry about hurting her. I'm afraid I might be hurting her more, in fact, by keeping my distance. Unease, something sinister is afoot. I shuffle closer towards her, disturbing the covers, then, without preamble, wind my arms around Lisbeth's waist. Marnie. Shh. Right here. It'll be... well. I frowned while rubbing the curve of Lisbeth's back over the fabric of her pajamas. I can't say for certain that it'll be alright, but you're not alone. You know that, don't you? This Jane woman might be your sister, and she might not. But regardless of her true identity, you still have me. I'll always be here to support you. Yes, I suppose that is true. Lisbeth hiccoughs wanly when she stares at me, her brown eyes bright like stars. Her lower lip trembles for a few moments until, with every sigh, it twitches upwards into a smile. I am not alone, no matter how miserable I feel at the present. You are by my side, and I know you will not leave me. Thank you, Marnie, for being so very sweet. As your knight, this behavior of mine truly is reputable, repugnant. I ought to act more stoic. else you will never be able to trust me. You don't need to act like anything, Lizzie. Not when you're with me. I'd far rather you tell me the truth. Even when, by telling the truth, I make my own weaknesses apparent. Even so, if there's something upsetting you, I'd like to hear about it. I can't help you otherwise. And in any case, everybody has a weakness. Nobody's perfect, not even brave knights like you. I smile, then brush a few of Lisbeth's stray tears aside, the back of my right hand. Now, let's try and talk through all we know. Not that we know very much right now. I have no idea who Jane is either, or how she wound up working for Gran. I guess there's a chance she might be an ordinary woman who just so happens to look like Lynette. But I think it's pretty unlikely. I would not even consider that a possibility. In detective fiction, convenient coincidences of that manner do not exist. In this case, I think Jane looks too uncannily similar to my sister for it to be a mere happenstance. It is strange, too, that her appearance in Fenchapel occurred so soon after Edmund's. Yes, you're right. I think they must be related somehow. It's strange that two figures from the past would show up like this, one after the other, especially when they're both supposed to be dead. Ah well, as to that... Lisbeth smiles. You and I both know, my lady, that death does not matter overly much when magic is concerned. It is quite good at warping and twisting tenets of reality most humans take for granted. I myself ought to be dead, by rights, given I am centuries old. Does that mean I'm hugging a corpse, then? I'm as good as, I suppose, though my heart still beats. They're not very corpse-like, are you? I grin, then poke Lisbeth inside, which makes her squeal. I don't know if I'd be opposed to dating a corpse, personally. It's pretty metal. Metal? Other good songs have been written about it. Like the songs you're listening to in the car. Just like those. Yes. I would hesitate to call such songs, good. Or even songs, for that matter. They sound more like noise to me. But I digress. We all have our own tastes. There is no shame in that. I'm glad you're such an individual, Marnie. Yeah. I roll my eyes. You can try to dress it up however you want, but I know you can't stand my music. You're just like my mother in that regard. I am older than your mother, in actual fact, but my heart is still that of a fair maiden. I thought you were supposed to be a knight. I'm a fair maiden, who is also a knight. They are rather fashionable, or so I have heard, and so are warrior queens. Where did you hear that exactly? From Misty. Another one of your co-workers? That's right. She is an archaeology student, and often waxes poetry on Boudica. From all accounts, she was quite the girl boss. She was quite the girl boss. Hashtag slay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was not ready for Lisbeth to say. From all accounts, she was quite the girl boss. Ugh. I pull a face. Please, don't say girl boss. Again, I'm begging you. That's like total cringe. Cringe? I mean, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for you, and your colleague too. You'll pick up bad habits from her. So speaks the girl who would have no compunctions about dating a corpse. I was only, like, trying to play up the whole goth thing. I wasn't being wholly serious. Just partially? Well, I am dating you. Lisbeth giggles. I suppose that is true. I must make for quite the unconventional partner in many regards, though. I am glad that you care for me so. You've consoled me a good deal, Marnie. Thanks. I'm happy to hear it. Good. I love them. They're so dorky. They sure are awesome. They're very dorky. They're very dorky, indeed. I smiled and leaned in to press a gentle kiss on Lisbeth's lips. We savor one another for a few moments, our arms intertwined, touch one another, until in dire need of air, I draw back. Inhaling deeply, my face flushed, I then say, so about this Jane business. There's a whole bunch we still don't know, so I reckon rather than jump into conclusions, we should try to unearth some advice, some evidence. Like, detectives, you mean? A bit like that, yeah. I think Edmund might know more about Jane than he's told us. And even if he doesn't, speaking to him couldn't hurt. All his memories, at least, seem to be intact. Apart from those which pertain to how he came hither, that is. Apart from those, yeah. That's a bit of a bummer, but I guess that the world wouldn't need detectives if hunting down evidence was easy. Well, I agree with you there. If detective work was a simple affair, crime novels wouldn't be so convoluted as they are. That and Silent Witness would have run for like 12 million seasons. Though Silent Witness, from what I know about it, isn't concerned with one vast sprawling mystery, but a lot of little ones. It gets kind of old, I guess, if Amelia Fox had been tracking down the same perp since like the 1990s. Was Amelia Fox part of the cast? Even back in the 90s? I've no idea. I'm not as clued up on Silent Witness as Lisbeth, who's watched every single season up to the most current one. So, what do you think? Do you want to visit Edmund tomorrow? He told us where he's staying, so it shouldn't be too hard to track him down. I suppose I have no choice. I suppose we have no choice. I still do not trust him. But as he has not done anything to endanger us, pooling our knowledge with him might prove to be beneficial. I would very much like to know what exactly has happened to my sister, if that woman really is my sister. I really have missed her. The third day. I continue eating Fritos very loudly. I wake up the next morning, then have breakfast with Gran and Lisbeth in the kitchen. Once we've eaten and washed the dishes, I step outside with Lisbeth. It's another warm day and the sky overhead is bright blue, studded with only the occasional wispy ribbon of cloud. Thank you, Paulson, for the hydrate and stretch. Thank you. Those are good stretches. So, Lizzie, do you still want to pay Edmund a visit? You can try and pick his brain. Maybe he'll know something. I think there's got to be better than... I think that's got to be better than sitting about doing nothing. I suppose so. If Edmund truly is our ally, there's nothing to be gained by not pooling our knowledge, our resources. It would be foolish not to make use of him. When you say like that, it sounds pretty utilitarian. Forgive me. I know that does not sound very knightly of me. Though I suppose I have never been a real knight. I was only pretending. Still, while I mayn't be a knight, I would still be willing to do anything to aid my sister, even working with the man who once tried to kill me. That is how much she means to me. I know. You don't need to explain your feelings to me. I'll try to excuse them. I think anybody would be upset in this situation. Not I imagine that many people would find themselves in a situation like this in the first place. That's why I'm trying to set things right. And also why my accent keeps changing every fucking 20 minutes. Now, I glanced over at the car. It's pretty banged up, but at least it gets the job done. Edmund said he was staying at the Blackbird's perch. It's not very far away. We should be there in no time. Then we can have a nice long chat with Edmund. We won't leave until we've learned everything. And I do mean everything. I'm not about to show Edmund any mercy, no matter how early in the day it is, nor how tired he might be. Edmund's feelings, whatever they might be, are totally irrelevant. I'm more concerned about Lisbeth. Wait, we're in the car again. How about Twitch chat connecting itself? Well, we're back. Not sure why I just had Twitch chat for a second there. Lisbeth and I drive to Ragby. The Ragby in silence, neither of us speaking. Lisbeth's eyes are fixed upon the road ahead, but her mouth is set in a thin, determined line. Them. There are dark circles under Lisbeth's eyes which speak of a chronic lack of sleep. And I think her fingers are shaking. I don't need to bother asking what's troubling her. She must be turning thoughts of Lynette over and over inside her head, like laundry bundled up in a washing machine. It'd be weird, I guess, if Lisbeth wasn't thinking about Lynette. They are sisters, after all. I don't have any siblings myself, but I do have a bunch of cousins. I'm not as close to them now as I was when I was little, but if Ruby or Pearl, fucking goddamn names, Ruby or Pearl suddenly started treating me like a stranger, I'd be upset. I want to cheer Lisbeth up, but I'm not sure there's anything I can do to help. I suppose distracting her is the only option available to me. Speaking of which, do you mind if I put on some music? It's kind of quiet in here. What? Oh. Lisbeth blinks, as though drawn into a reverie, then glances at me. Of course you can. That's fine by me. With Lisbeth's consent secured, I plug my phone into the dashboard and sort through my songs. Amands are off. With that Dahlia murder, Hannibal Corpse. Or maybe this would be a good way to lighten the mood. I select a song, then set it back to my seat as the drums kick in, loud but melodic as they strum inside my skull. So, what do you think? Sounds pretty good, right? I can imagine you would think that, yes. It definitely sounds like the sort of thing that you would listen to. Hey! What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Only that your tastes remain as consistent as ever. Are you sure you have not played this song? Are you sure you have not played this song to me before? I don't think so, no. Really? I am certain that we listened to it on the way to Fenchapel. I don't think we did. I was into Nine Inch Nails when I put on some Black Throne, and they don't sound anything like this. Marnie, I'm quite certain you put on Cannibal Corpse, or we at least talked about Cannibal Corpse on our ride to Fenchapel. They don't? Of course not. This is more melodic metal. Blackthorn are black metal. They're nothing alike at all. You say that, but it still sounds like a bunch of angry men screaming at me. They're not angry. They're impassioned. What this is, EbiHime. You know, the same person who made It Gets Lonelier. I would not be impassioned a bit more quietly. Most other musicians do not shout that loudly. That's cause most other musicians don't do metal. It's part of the genre. It is certainly very perplexing. As much as I love you, Marnie, I don't always understand your tastes. If I listened to this all the time, I would have an awful headache. Well, if it's that awful, you can always turn it off. No, it is quite alright. I think I prefer listening to this music as opposed to sitting in silence. This song is so loud, I can scarcely hear myself speak, much less think. That's the general idea, yeah. Just let it wash over you. It's soothing, don't you think? Perhaps it is, in a way. Lisbeth ponders, her eyes narrowed. She might have given me crap about my taste in music, which is flawless, thank you very much. But she's actually started to nod her head in time with it. I guess she doesn't hate it all that much. I think I can see why you like this kind of music now, Marnie. It makes me feel as though I am going off to battle. It is quite invigorating. Do you feel better? Somewhat. I would not attribute the wholly to your choice in music, though. I think I am simply happy to spend time with you. Thank you for worrying about me, Marnie. You really are a wonderful girlfriend. Oh my god, they are so gay. The Blackbirds Perch is a smallish pub located on the side of the road on the outskirts of Rugby. Lesbians. Its walls whitewashed, supported by wooden beams painted black and ivy coils about its front, which gives it a real fairy tale vibe. I've never been inside the pub myself before, but I've seen it on the roadside loads of times. I've always wondered whether its inside looked as charming as outside. It's pretty exciting, in a way, that I finally have a chance to find out. Wow. It's like a certain degree of trepidation that I set myself to the pub. When I let myself into the pub. My breath bated, but I'm disappointed to discover that the inside of the pub is nothing particularly special. Not bad, though. It's comparable to all the other pubs I've been during my life. Cramped, but not exactly dingy. The floor is hardwood, at least, not ratty, natty carpet, and the wallpaper is this nice cream colour, rather than the dark bean colour that you get in some skeezy pubs. There's a bunch of tables and chairs arranged about the room, the most desirable of which, I guess, are the ones by the windows, in a counter away, back to the water drinks. I guess it's a pretty nice pub as far as pubs go, but it's still just a pub. It's nothing special. I was hoping for, well, I don't know, chandeliers maybe, or an authentic ye olden fireplace. It looks like there was a fireplace here once. I can see a flue jutting out of the back wall. But the hearth's been bricked up. The table has been shoved in front of it. That's kind of disappointing. I guess Santa won't be paying this place with any visits. Since so early in the morning, the pub's more or less deserted. There's a few patrons sitting about the tables over there, and an old woman reading a battered paperback romance novel. And by the bar, a couple of ramblers sipping on pints of Diet Coke. But that's about it. There's a woman and someone engrossed in her book. The ramblings are so invested in their conversation, they don't turn when Lisbeth and I enter the pub. Our entrance fails to register with them. The woman behind the counter, however, doesn't turn to look at us. She was leaning against the counter's pitted wood surface, flicking through her phone, but the sound of our footsteps makes her raise her head. The woman at the bar, should I call her a barmaid? She's buxom enough for it. I guess that, but that's she's not blonde or young. Looks to be in her late 50s, or maybe early 60s. The lines under her eyes and about her mouth point to her being a fair bit older than my mother, though her hair is too thick and red, dyed presumably, to have her in my grandmother's age bracket. She's a large-ish lady, but she carries her weight in style. She's wearing this floaty, voluminous floral dress with a pair of glitzy hoops dangle from my ears. Those are fucking huge. What the hell? Those are huge and thick. Jesus Christmas. Her fingers are straddling her with rings, or studded with rings, which look like they'd make cleaning up a pain, and her lips are painted pillar box red. She certainly cuts a striking figure. She actually reminds me a little of my Aunt Letta, who also favors floaty, wispy gowns and extravagant jewelry. If this woman wasn't standing behind the counter, the blackbird's perch, she'd be right at home at a trestle table, staring into a crystal ball. That's just the vibe she gives off, though. The woman's actual voice, though, when she speaks to me in Lisbeth, is less than mystical. She talks like a broad Yorkshire drawl. She talks in a broad Yorkshire drawl, which doesn't seem super conductive to the summoning of spirits. Oh, you're alright, loves. What can I do for you then? I beg your pardon. What was that you said, good lady? You what? The woman of sorts, amused in turn by Lisbeth's antiquated speech. I can't say I recall being called a good lady before, though. I must say it has a certain charm to it. I reckon I would rather get used to that. But look here, girlie. You're not talking to Mickey, are you? Oh no. Lizzie just talks like this sometimes. She's into historical reenactments and stuff, so she fancies herself a knight. A knight, eh? The woman grins. I can't say I know much about chivalry and jousting and all that, but was there so much call for female knights back in these days? Oh, you would be surprised at. I'm not sure I would. You sound like a real expert on the subject. So, will it be? Is there anything you'd fancy for? No, we're not here to drink. We're actually... You're not? Then what do you come here for? I'm running a business here, not a charity. You can sit and chat if you want. There's seats enough, but you'll have to buy a drink first. Ah, yes. That is often how things work. People in this era seem to value money above human connections. But my good woman, you understand. While Marty and I do not come here for substance, we do have a goal in mind. I would like to speak with Edmund, if that would not put you at too great an inconvenience. Oh, are you friends with Mr. Grumpy? Edmund's family name was not Grumpy, as far as I'm aware, but that certainly does suit him. Doesn't it? He's just a nice face, that boy, but he's always frowning. What a waste. I've told him he'll put a dent in his brow if he keeps that up. And what broody, what use would it be? It's a cry shame. Now, you came here to see Eddie. Yes, that is correct. I am his sister, you see, and I would like to see how he has been getting on. His system. You don't look like much like this girl over here. Marnie, did you say her name was? Looks so much like Eddie. It's uncanny. But you do talk a bit like him, I suppose. You're awful polite. You're so polite, in fact, it's giving me the willies. I've never been known like it. That is just how Edmund and I were brought up. Our parents were old-fashioned values. You don't say. Well, if it's Eddie you're after, I can certainly like to see him. He should be in his room, though. I reckon he'll still be asleep. At this hour? But it is almost past 10. But it is already past 10. Oh! He's such a slow bad, he is. Especially when he's going to work to do. A visit from his sister would be enough to wake him, though. You'll tell him to get his act together, won't you? You bet I will. I will give that useless brother of mine a stern talking to. Just show me where he is, and I will lay it on him. Ha! Will you not? The one laughs. Make sure to give him a talking to for me too. Tell him, Hortense wants him to smile more. I will, miss. Hortense, is it? I will pass on your message forthwith. Why, thank you kindly. The woman, or Hortense I suppose her name is, bows her head in a mocking courtesy. Eddie's room is on the floor above. Take the stairs, they're out, and then... Hortense gives Lisbeth and I a brief litany of instructions, which I squirrel away inside my head. Then, thanking Hortense, Lisbeth and I turn on our heels and set off for the up floor. Find Edmund's room quickly. It's down the end of the hallway and, smiling, Lisbeth steps forth and wraps onto it. Hello, Edmund. Are you awake yet? Get up and get dressed. You've no excuse for your idleness. The sun is high. How can you sleep? That was so very beautiful. A morning. Lisbeth continues. Zero thud, which makes me wonder whether he's tripped over something, some feet perhaps, or a string of muffled curses. Gosh damn it all. That voice is undoubtedly Edmund's, but I don't think I've ever heard him use foul language. He must have taken quite the spill. Eventually, Edmund is finally able, after much repetitive rapping, courtesy of Lisbeth, taps the door. Sorry, I'm casually licking the barbecue powder from my fingers from eating the chips. Lol. He wrenches it open, then stands in the doorframe looking all unkempt. His blonde hair is ruffled. His blonde hair is ruffled as though he's been sleeping on it. As if his hair looks any different than it did before. It does not. And he's wearing not his neat button-up shirt and slacks, but an oversized shirt and a pair of track pants. His clothes, like his hair, are so rumpled my mother would probably faint to look at them. They look clean at least, which is a plus, but his eyes are bloodshot and he has to squint into the hallway. What is it? What is this infernal racket? So very early in the morning. You would call this hour early? Patooey. Pifoot. Patooey. I don't know what that actually says. Pifwee. That must be the biggest lie I've ever heard from your mouth since meeting you. It is not early. It is past 10. Now look lively. Hortense says you ought to smile more, and I quite agree. This is about Hortense? That infuriating. Infuriating. Old busty body didn't tell you where I was staying, did she? She did, yeah. And I'm glad for it too. She wanted to have a word. We wanted to have a word. And what did you tell her to make her confide in you? I said you were my older brother. Did you now? Edmund winces. Let us not bring that back, for goodness sake. I've had enough of you calling me your brother to last me a lifetime. I've only one sister, and that is... Leaf, yes, I know. And what would she think to see her dear brother conducting himself in such a slovenly manner? Remember, you... stabs her finger into Edmund's direction. Are the one who said we could visit you if we felt so inclined. You told us that yesterday, in fact. Do not tell me that you mean to Renine. What is this? What? Why is there a white background on my... This the background. Sorry. First time can't... No, I don't know how to say the word... Whatever that is. A second, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck... Why... What with the background? Okay, that's... I was like, why is my computer just a white background up there? Oh, because it's the cover for the art... For the, the Addy Rosa art book cover. The one with the white background. Kike Nuke. Yes. Renege. Do not tell me that you mean to renege your words. That would not be very gentlemanly. I don't mean to renege or anything, but I did not imagine that you would be stopping by so early. We have not found out what the fairy secret is yet, Nika. We're trying to find that out. But first we need to find the fairies. We haven't found any fairies yet. Nor any secrets. Just about yet. And like I said, it is not early. I have been up for hours on end already. Perhaps you have, but... You haven't got a splitting headache? Unlike... excuse me, some of us? A headache? It's interesting. I wonder... Have you been fucking drinking? You aren't... hungover, are you? What? It recoils. He looks aghast, but I don't take any pity on him. Not now a theory's begun to form in my head. Did you drink too much last night? I wouldn't be surprised, not when you live above a pub, and Hortense does seem very fond of you. Has she been plying you with free drinks, hoping to get a look-see at the pretty smile of yours she loves so much? Drunk? Lisbeth scowls. Do you mean to tell me that while Marnie and I have been worrying about Lynette, you have been holding up here, saucing yourself in alcohol? How could you be so careless? Leaf would be very, very ashamed of your conduct. What? Oh no. You are both mistaken. I am not drunk. I do not care for the stuff. Then why do you have a headache? Because somebody... Edmund shoots Lynette. Lynette? Lisbeth is sullen glare. will not stop rapping upon my bedroom door, knocking on my chamber door for what seemed a small eternity. Anybody would have a headache being subjected to such a din. It did not help that I slipped and hit my head when I got up out of bed either. It is quite painful, actually. I think I would have given myself a concussion. I guess that explains why Edmund was so agitated. Not to mention, so unusually pissy. If he wasn't a grown man, I'd be inclined to feel sorry for him. As it is, however, Edmund is an adult, and I don't have much sympathy to spare for him. It's very sad and all, but I'm sure you'll be fine. You've suffered worse. Now, are you going to let us in? We came all this way to see you. It'd be rude to keep us standing about outside. Yes, I suppose I must. Please come in. I apologize for my state of undress, but your visit was rather taken me by surprise. I was not afforded enough time to prepare. Enter Edmund's room at his invitation and glance about curiously. Edmund's lodgings are pretty small even than the guest bedroom at my parents' place, which Lisbeth has called home for the last couple of years. There's a bed in the middle and the wardrobe shunting against the back wall, but that's about it as far as furnitures go. The ceiling is low and sloppy, to such a degree Edmund could press his palm flat against it if he were to raise his arm. I wouldn't be able to do that, of course. I'm way too tiny. But I'm not the one who has to sleep in this room. I bet it must feel pretty claustrophobic. Not that I'm super sympathetic. That's what you deserve, Edmund, I feel saying, for being so tall. I see a lot of down with the government comments on the internet sprinkled amongst the ever popular down with the wealthy, but I think I'd rather start a campaign against tall people. What's in the point of being over 6 feet? What net average does that get you, exactly, other than being able to reach high shelves and maybe being good at sports? And BTW was always terrible at ball games back in school, particularly netball. I could never throw the ball high enough to score a single point, so my tosses were always intercepted, and not that I cared. I'm not a team player. At least Edmund's room is pretty tidy, despite being cramped. There aren't any stray socks scattered on the floor, and I can't find any plates sprinkled with crumbs. His room is probably tidier than mine. I do know, however, that the patterned rug spread on the floor and the wooden floorboard is all one board in one corner. I guess that's the culprit behind his bumped head. So, Edmund takes a seat upon the edge of his bed, one leg forward over the other, then gestures about the room for the first night to follow suit. Sit somewhere, for fuck's sake. Would I be correct in assuming that you came here to talk about Jane? You would indeed. We saw her yesterday, and it is quite as you said. She does look an awful lot like my sister. They are so very alike, in fact. I cannot conceive of her being anybody else. Their appearances are too similar for it to be a coincidence. What came to her actions, however? She was not behaving as you expected. Expected she would. Not at all. She made no sign of recognizing me whatsoever. She paid more attention to Marnie than she did to me. Not that I begrudged Marnie for this, of course. I know it is not her fault, and yet... it still hurt. It hurt a lot. It still hurts now when I think about it. Being ignored by your own sister is not something I can easily come to terms with. Not when I have missed her so much. This is not the reunion I was hoping for. Oh my. Concerned, I think, for Lisbeth's well-being, Edmund shifts a bit closer to her, then raises his arm, his palm hovering tentatively above her scalp. I would not presume to think that I can console you, but, well, on the rare occasions that my sister was upset, and she felt the need to look on to me for comfort, I would pat her on the head. She said that cheered her up. Would you mind awfully if I... What? Oh no, I do not think I would mind. You may pat me if you desire. It is not what I desire that I care for, but what you desire. It is clear that you have suffered from a great shock. I suppose so. I only have myself to blame, though. You did warn me. I should have listened to you. Yes, you should have, but I do not warn you. I did not warn you for the amusement of it. I truly did wish to help you. I think I can see that now, yes. I did not trust you at first, but you mightn't be so bad. I am gratified to hear that. I do wish I could have learned to... You could have learned to trust me under other circumstances. For more pleasant circumstances, though. Like a family, I'm not gonna call you Oni-chan. Like a family, I'm not going to call you Oni-chan, though. Edmund presses his palm to Lisbeth's head. Edmund presses... That's literally the achievement I just got, by the way. I'm not lying. Edmund presses his palm to Lisbeth's head as he speaks, and gives her hair a ruffle. Lisbeth bows her head beneath the weight of Edmund's palm, her fingers curled on her lap. For a few moments, neither of them speak. The only sound I can hear, save for the chirping of the birds beyond Edmund's window, is a soft, regular sound of Edmund's palm gliding across Lisbeth's scalp. Edmund strokes Lisbeth's hair for a brief while, as one might a cat. She looks a little awkward at first, but his shoulders eventually relax. Then he smiles. Is this how he smiled when he consoled his little sister, back when they were children? He really must have loved her, if he doted on her half as much as he is Lisbeth. I think I can see now why Edmund was so determined to find her again. His feelings of relief aren't at all dissimilar to Lisbeth's to Lynette. Is that why he's being so nice? He must know better than I do how mixed up Lisbeth will be feeling about all this. Hortense would, of course, have a field day if she could see Edmund smiling right now, but I'm not about to share this moment with her. It feels too private. There now. Do you feel better? I think so, yes. Nothing has really changed, but it is nice to know that I am not alone. Lynette might have forgotten me, for the present, but I have my dear Marnie to reassure me. And I suppose I have you too now. Indeed you do, if you want me, that is. I know Leaf often did not. She thought that I was a busybody. She might have been right there. It's not nice. It's not nice, you know, flirting with other girl's girlfriend right in front of her. Where's the chivalry in that? What? Flirting? I was doing no such thing. I am gay. I love men. I am a lover of men. Specifically, a goth man I forgot the name of. I don't know the name of just yet. I have yet to meet this goth man. What's that? I meant only to offer Lisbeth some compassion during what I'm sure is a trying time. Yeah, that's what they all. That's what all the guys say. I trust Esmond too, but geez, I didn't know he was such touchy-feely. It's sort of like I'm genuinely jealous of Esmond's show of affection. I can tell he's using Lisbeth as a surrogate little sister. But I gotta stand up my guard. My ground. Lisbeth. Mine. Does that maybe sound too possessive? Oh, look at her. She's all blushy. Marnie's blushing. Oh my god. I don't want to come across as yandere. I don't want to come across as yandere. I know some people are into that. But I think those types need to get their heads examined. Excuse me. Look. Just because my wife is... What's the appeal of having somebody love you so much they lock you in a cage? Well, some people are actually into that. It makes like 0 sense. Oh my. Where are you trying to flirt with me, Edmund? No, I must assuredly was not. Are you sure? Your face is pretty red. Is it red, Miss Marnie? Because you have levied quite the accusation towards me. I'm not interested in Lisbeth, not at all. I like men. What? Do you not think I am at least passably pretty then? Yeah, what's the deal with that? Are you just gonna, like, sit there and say my girlfriend is adorable? Don't you have any taste? Yes, my taste is men. Good God! At this point, I know not what either of you want to say. What me to say? If I said I think Elizabeth was pretty, you would surely... harangue me for being a reputable, reprobate. But by saying honestly, I'm not attracted to her. You would call my taste into question. The fuck do you want, woman? How am I to win? You're tearing me apart, Marnie. Oh. That's easy. You don't. Then you would castrate me regardless. Yep. Them's the breaks, I'm afraid. But why? Why not? You did way worse stuff to us, if anything. If anything, I think we're letting you get off lightly. It's not like we've tried to kill... Not right now, no, but then again, you've no need. You already succeeded at that score. Perhaps I do deserve a bit of teasing, though, after everything I did. I apologize once more for my poor conduct, but please believe me when I say that it was not happen again. It will not happen again. I truly do wish you to be happy. That is why this news of the net perturbed me so. Perturbs is one word for it, I suppose. I cannot help but despair at the situation. That is why I came to see you, Edmund. Is there more you can tell us about all this? Let me think. I believe I've told you all I know already, but I could perhaps offer a hypothesis. Oh? Have you been doing some sleuthing? I've been attempting to fit the pieces of this puzzle together, yes. I am unsure whether I have managed to do so successfully, however. Still, Edmund frowns. I think that this Jane woman might truly be your sister, Lisbeth. Or sister, Lisbeth. I cannot imagine you mistaking her for anybody else. Not when your familiarity bonds are so strong. I cannot say why I recall all my past memories, though. Well, she does not. Might the spell which brought her back was imperfect. Maybe the spell which brought her back was imperfect. That could be the case indeed, though whether this was by design or by accident, I cannot say. You mean whoever brought Lynette back might have wiped her memory on purpose? That is a possibility, yes. But why would this mysterious enchanter, or enchantress, I guess, do that? Who can say? I certainly do not know. I do not even know who brought Lynette back in the first place. Let alone who brought me back. It is possible, though, that it was done deliberately to control her. It is hard to exert one's influence on over others, even with magic, if they retain too much of their true selves. Scooping all that out and implanting false memories is an easy way to bend another to your own will. I do not know much about this sort of magic, though. I find it all very manipulative. It reminds me rather too much of the Fae for my liking. There are mischief makers. They can't be trusted. Then maybe it was the Fae who revived my sister. They might just be so powerful enough to manage that. Perhaps they are. This is all speculation, though. Yes, of course. Lisbeth toys with her hair, twisting a few auburn strands of it as with her index finger, which she thinks. A few months pass, and then, goodness, is there no end to what we do not know? I am ignorant about many matters, that is true, but I am sure we will learn what is occurring in due course. We need only work together. I do not know who revived Lynette or what their end goal is, but I doubt they are a friend of ours. This is probably a trap, in all likelihood, meant to ensnare you. Please try to be wary. Try not to worry. I will not let either of you get hurt. I could not protect my sister, but I will protect the pair of you, I promise. The drive back from Rugby to Fenchapel is a staid, solemn sort of affair. Lisbeth is quiet throughout the journey from Balfour Road, her eyes focused almost unblinkingly on the strip of grey, potholed road before us. The only sound for several minutes is that of the tires as they crunch over those loose pebbles, and the hum of the engine. Concernedly, I look at Lisbeth. It's not like her to be so very quiet. She's holding herself as stiffly as a mannequin in front of the window of a shop, and her face is about as expressive. I hope that talking to Edmund might cheer her up, but a visit to the Blackbird's perch seems to have had the exact opposite effect. I wish I could rest a consoling hand against her shoulder, but that seems a poor idea given she's busy driving. I shifted my seat for a few moments uneasy, before, finally, I find Jimmy to speak up. Lizzie, you don't have to talk. Not if you don't want to, it's no pressure, but I was wondering, how are you feeling now? Well, Lisbeth inhales and answers. I don't feel as bad as I did yesterday, I suppose. I have calmed down somewhat since then. I cannot pretend that speaking with Edmund made me feel any more positive about my current situation, though. Well, that doesn't come as much of a surprise. Edmund wasn't even half as helpful as I'd hoped he would be. The words chocolate teapot are coming to mind. I am fairly certain now that June is my sister, but at the same time, she is not. This is all rather unnerving. But this could, I suppose, be a taste of my own medicine. What makes you say that? I did not remember Lynette myself when I first awoke. I thought that I was Leaf. I have since come to my senses, but now it is my sister who is laboring under a delusion. What a strange pair of sisters we make. Maybe it runs in the family? Maybe so. I look at the road for a few moments, pondering, and then... Hey, Lizzie. I've had an idea. Is it related to my sister? Tangentially, I guess it's more related to you, though. You've been feeling kind of blue, haven't you? I am not in the highest of possible spirits, no. I figured as much. Wait, what? So look at Discord real quick for funds. I'm weird. I mean, she said that as much. It was all very pretty obvious. I was doing some thinking just now, and didn't come to Fenchapel to relax. Make my hydrate. And stretch. I was doing some thinking just now, and didn't we come to Fenchapel to relax? I thought this was supposed to be a holiday. That is true, yes. I must apologize for spoiling the mood. I, too, wish it for us to have fun. It is hard to be happy, though, when there is so very much weighing upon you. I know that, and I'm not about to hold it against you, but I don't blame you for being down. It might be good, though, if we could do something to try to take your mind off things. Wouldn't you like to cut loose? Cut loose? Have fun, I mean. You look like you could use it. It's not like you to be so mopey. I know it isn't, but it is hard for me to act as I usually do, given all which has occurred. It is painful to see my sister like this. But dwelling upon her condition will be of no practical use to anybody, I suppose. Maybe I should try to do something to distract myself. Though I worry that might appear callous. Surely I have a duty to worry about her as my sister. Maybe. But you're like the younger sister. If anything, the next should be worrying about you. She did once. But now she cannot. She does not even know who I am. Yeah, I know. I've no idea how we're gonna resolve that particular problem. But that's why there's no reason to think about it. The two of us are still together. And I haven't forgot who you are. You're Lizzie. And you're my girlfriend. And nothing else. Nothing would erase that from my mind. Marnie! Lisbeth gazes at me from the corner of her eye, then, after a brief silence, offers me a smile of her own. You are very kind. Of course I'm being kind to you. I'm your girlfriend, and I want us to do girlfriendly things together. Such as, I don't know, the world is our oyster. We could go to the beach, and it's not very far away, or I've got an even better idea. What about Adventure Valley? What is Adventure Valley? It sounds somewhat perilous. Oh right, you wouldn't know. My visit to Fenchapel had been more or less synonymous with Adventure Valley ever since I was a kid. Adventure Valley is a theme park in Rythrope. It's a half-hour drive away, give or take a few. Give or take, which made it a good destination for family trips out back when I was a kid. I've been in Adventure Valley a boatload of times with all my extended family. My aunts and uncles, all my cousins, and sometimes Gran and Grandpa tagged along too. Adventure Valley, as the name suggests, is known for having a bunch of roller coasters. It can't compete with the likes of Alton Towers, but for such a small park, it's a decent selection of rides. My dad's a huge fan of roller coasters. Seeing Uncle Jim and Uncle Stephen would dash off to try all the most intense rides, like Atom Splitter, while my mother, and Aunt Allison, would be left behind to look after us kids. When I got into double digits myself, I joined my dad and Uncle Stephen and Uncle Jim, and David, and Olive too, on all the roller coasters. I always had a blast when I went to Adventure Valley, but I've not been there in ages. It wasn't long after my 10th birthday that Grandpa Frank's health took a turn for the worst. In our family, jaunts were all called off. I think it'd be nice to go back there and take a look around. It has been nearly a decade since my last visit. I wonder if it's changed. I'm sure it must have. 10 years, or 8, if you want to be picky about it, is a long time. I don't know if I'll love the park now as much as I did as a child, but I can at least show Lisbeth around. Going there would, I don't know, feel like we're living old memories. And Lisbeth's not been to a theme park before either. I'm sure she'll love it. I explained this to Lisbeth. She smiles in obvious excitement. Oh my, that does sound like a lot of fun. I've wanted to ride on one of those roller coasters since first I heard about them, but I never asked it. I didn't want to be a bother. And moreover, I've heard these theme parks are very expensive. Maybe they can be. But our Fenchapel Valley is on the smaller side of things. I don't think it would cost too much. At least I hope it doesn't. My bank account hasn't been looking too healthy as of late. I splurged on that new Nightmare Before Christmas makeup palette. I can pay for the both of us, don't worry. By inviting you out. I want to cheer you up. Would you be interested? Oh yes! As ever so much. It would be an honor to experience a themed park with you. Then it's a date. I'll look up the opening times and the best way to get there. We can set off early tomorrow morning. I think it'd be great. Well, of course it will be. That should go without saying. I always have fun when I'm with you. That is gay. The fourth day. The fourth gay. I can't believe the tickets are so fucking expensive. It's daytime robbery. Do they think I'm made of money or something? I only stopped being a student a couple weeks ago. Couldn't they have given me a discount? It's not like I look like an adult, damn it. I don't often feel like an adult either. Besides turning 18, I feel particularly kiddish now. I'm contemplating the sorry state of my bank account. It's not like I regret coming to Fenchapel Valley with Lisbeth. I've not been here long enough to regret it. And besides, this was my idea. But damn. The ticket prices are way steeper than I thought they'd be. I've been working over the summer, but I've only saved up a mere pittance. I've a lot of essentials to buy after all. Clothes and makeup and the like. Today's trip has just about wiped me out. It's pretty sad that you can work your ass off 24/7. Given I work part-time, I guess it's more accurately to say 15 hours a week, if that. And still end up flat broke. I guess that's capitalism for you. Marnie! Lisbeth was sitting off at one side, guarding our bags, but she gets to her feet when I head over to her. I'm still fuming internally about being so thoroughly ripped off. You need to buy an adult ticket if you're over 16. My ass! Why do people even take me for my real age? Why do people only ever take me for my real age when I'm trying to get a discount? My face must look unpleasant because Lisbeth says, Marnie, are you alright? Oh crap. Lisbeth looks pretty concerned. I don't want to spoil her day off. Not before it's already begun. We came here for her sake after all. Oh yeah, I'm totally fine. Don't worry about me. Are you sure? You look a bit frustrated, mayhaps. Damn. Why am I so easy to read? Well, I guess it'd be in a pretty sorry state of affairs if Lisbeth couldn't read me, since we're an item and all. I guess I'm glad she's so perceptive. She really is thoughtful. But sometimes it's to a detriment. I don't want my money to woes casting a pall on our grand day off. I'm fine, don't worry about it. Queuing for the tickets was just a bit of a nightmare. The line was, like, really long. I was stuck behind this mother for 2 screaming kids the whole time. I had an awful headache for most of the queuing experience, which, BTW, took 20 freaking minutes. I know we in the UK are renowned for our ability to queue patiently, but that was really pushing it even for me. The kids in front of me looked way too young to come to a place like Metro Valley. Anyway, what were they? Like 4? 5? They certainly have no problems getting in on a child's ticket, unlike yours truly. Sniff, sniff. What rides would they even go on anyway? The teacups. What's the point? I was kind of exhausted. Ben was just kind of exhausted. I'm fine now. At least I will be when we get inside the park. If you're sure. That's what Lisbeth says, but she's still looking all perturbed. She's conscientious to a fault. That girl is. Look, Marnie. Look, Marnie. I know that the tickets were very expensive. I can see the prices listed over there. And I know you do not have much in the way of savings. Ugh. Lisbeth knows me and my spending habits too well. I understand that you offered to pay for the tickets, which I appreciate, but I would feel guilty if I was to cause you any difficulties. Are you sure you don't wish for me to reimburse you? Oh, no, it's fine, Lizzie. I'm the one who invited you here, so I should be the one to pony up. That's like the law of dates. Is it? Lisbeth wrinkles her brow. I wasn't aware that such a law existed. It's unwritten. It's unwritten, but it's definitely expected. That's how dating etiquette is. Really? Brigitte is often going on dates, and when she does, she says she gets her boyfriends to pay for everything. I thought this very practical and very economic. She must save a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of girls do that. Some people say that that's unethical. Certainly it's not very equal. But if a guy's willing to foot the bill, why argue? Most of the time, they're only too happy to do it. Or so I've heard from my female friends who actually date guys. As I heard from my female friends who actually date guys, as opposed to me who dates a girl. If that means they get to impress. These guys get to stroke their own egos and make their dates happy. They didn't have to shell out any money on their own. Everybody wins. I wonder if I'm acting like one of those guys right now. It's not like I'm trying to show off to Lisbeth or anything, though. I'm pretty secure in our relationship. I just want to do something nice for her. She's making it kind of hard, though. Perhaps there's no one for men to pay for everything. But as neither of us are men, there should be no exceptions for one of us to shoulder every single expense. Are you quite certain you do not want me to pay for my own way? For the tickets... Nah, don't worry about it. I've already bought them. If you insist on pitching in, however... How about this? You buy all the food and drinks while we're here. The food and drinks are in the theme parks are always extravagant, extraordinary, extortionate. I was doing some serious mental maths while punching my PIN number over by the ticket booth. As for whether I'd be able to afford any grub, this pair of killer stick boots I've been lusting over since, like, forever. Lisbeth's help should go a long way. Fortunately, Lisbeth seems pretty on board with my suggestions. Well, she nods and then says, Lilith? That sounds like a wonderful idea. Please leave it to me, my lady. I'll protect your wallet from the scourge of this themed park. Themed park! It's not called a themed park. It's just a theme park. My apologies. I must have been mistaken. Still, this should be a good deal of fun. It better be freaking fun after I spent so much money on the bloody tickets. Did you say something, Marnie? Oh no, nothing at all. Ha 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 ha. I guess I was a little too opaque with my resentment there. I got to put the stupid woman from the stupid ticket booth behind me. Sure, it pissed me off when she looked at me, snooty-like, and said in an arch voice, I don't believe you're under 16! But I can't let her ruin my date. I'm going to have fun, damn it, even if it's the last thing I do. Whee! Easy breezy. It just keeps going around and around and around and around and around. Yay! This is incredible! I'm going so fast! Ah ha 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 ha! Marnie? Marnie? Are you okay there? You appear to be having quite a struggle. I appear to have broken the game by doing the alt enter. I fucked my resolution. Let's not do that ever again. We're still going that size. Okay, let's save first. Make sure I don't crash the game. Let me just do this button. And screen. This button. Windowed. We're good? We're good. We're still good on the size. Scroll down to the funnily named Discord channel called Use, which I think I just got from just key smashing. 3 keys. Use. Lol. I still find that very funny that I just the Discord channel I put all the Sapphic CGs in is just called Use. EWS. Use. Hello! Lisbeth whoops and hollers cheerfully in a manner that's pretty far removed from the ye old medieval night as the teacups whisks her, and by extension me, about the undulating track over. It's spinning so much! And over. Ah! I'm starting to get dizzy! And over. Look at me go! It feels like I'm flying! This is so cool! And over again. At this point, we must have ridden on these plastic teacups at least 7 times. Back to back. Lisbeth just can't get enough of them. Aw, that's kinda cute. That's kinda cute though, Lisbeth, oh my god. Okay, oh my god, Lisbeth is so cute. She's addicted. I was pretty dismissive of the spinning teacups at first. They're a kiddie ride. Not like Atom Splitter, or Tarantula, or like any of the real roller coasters, but all this spinning is starting to take a toll on my stomach. porridge Gran made for breakfast sits uncomfortably inside me like concrete. But not like solid concrete. Oh no. This concrete has some give in it. Because I can feel it shifting inside me whenever the teacups turn. And believe me, they turn a lot. There's a wheel mounted in the middle of the teacup that the riders can twist to make the cups spin even harder. It'd be Gucci if Lisbeth left the wheel alone for the rest of the ride, but of course she doesn't. She's gripping it with her strength, so much so I'm half afraid she might wrench the wheel off its support. The teacups aren't supposed to be white knuckle rides. AFAIAK, a fucking call. AFAIK. But you wouldn't think that, given how desperately Elizabeth's twisting the wheel. The fake. AFAIK. Meaning, as far as I know, it's too long. When's she gonna get tired of this? Hello! This is amazing! Judging by her cries, I might be waiting a while on that. I'm kind of impressed by Lisbeth's tenacity. Didn't she feel at all nauseous after all the spinning? But at the same time, it's kind of freaky. How can she deal with all this stimulation? She was born in the literal Dark Ages. There's no way she had spinning teacups back then. I figured she'd take way longer to acclimatize to all these rides than me, but... Ah, that was fun! Let's go again, Marnie! Let's go again! The rides come to an end, finally. She's already clamoring to queue up all over again. This woman have no sense of moderation. What about fear? She must at the very least be impervious to nausea. I only wish I could say the same. Maybe I think as I clamber, hot turning out of that accursed teacup, my legs feel like they're about to give way at the moment. Lisbeth is truly hardcore one between the two of us. I can't keep up with her. She's been at this theme park for like an hour, and I already feel like throwing up in the towel. I might be pretty good when it comes to roller coasters. I've never held on one before, at least. But I think I'm matched here. These teacups really are a menace. Marnie, are you alright? Do you not want to ride these funny cups again? These funny cups again? Oh, no, it's fine. I said I could go on anything if you wanted. So that's just what we'll do. I can handle a few more spins on these silly cups. They're for little kids, and I am not a kid. I wasn't even allowed to buy a children's ticket in the entrance. But at this point, I guess I'm beating a dead horse. I'll try to let it go. It'll take more than these teacups to beat me. Ha! I thought you might say that. Let us continue then. I wish to spin around even faster. Even faster? Oh, jeez. I don't know if I like the sound of that. And I know my stomach definitely doesn't. Gran's porridge seems ready to burst its banks. Like any second now. Just what, I wonder, as I follow Lisbeth to the back of the shaking line, Hugh, I got myself into coming here. I feel like I've as good as signed my own death warrant. Not that I knew, before I came here, that Lisbeth would be quite this into Adventure Valley, or its spinning teacups. She's out of control. At the very least, I'm glad she's enjoying herself. But damn, There's such a thing as having too much fun. If she keeps hauling me into the teacups, I'm afraid I might seriously die. But I tell myself, my expression set grimly, if I did pass out in the spinning cups, at least it'd be for a good cause. At least it would be for Lisbeth. It would make Lisbeth happy. But it isn't. That's why I came here. I just want to see her smile. Ah! Ice cream! Sweet treats! Isn't this an historic sight? It is! Wow! Do I still have it, CG? Let me check. This ice cream is delicious! Scrolling up through the giant text channel that is use. I don't know if I still have this, if I have this the CG bookmarked or not. I do not. I do not. What a shame. Lisbeth grins as she laps at the gooey half-melted globe of strawberry ice cream. At least she looks like she's having fun, even if I found the spinning cups pretty horrific. I unfortunately am starting to feel a little pretty tired. It's an uncomfortably hot day, and my shirt is beginning to stick to my shoulders and back. I feel salty droplets of sweat beading upon my forehead in the crevasses of my underarms. It's not a pleasant feeling. I guess it's a good thing that I'm wearing black. It should hide any unfortunate pit stains, though it might be the culprit of the sad stains in the first place. Black's not known for being the most cooling of colors, but what choice do they have? Pretty much all of my clothes come in black, with splashes of red and white and grey thrown in for good measure. I don't think I own a single white shirt. Being a goth is suffering, especially in the summer. What was the temperature anyway? I don't want to ferret my phone out of my pocket to check. But while I'm holding on to my own ice cream, not while I'm holding on to my ice cream, but I bet it must be in the 30s. Yuck. It shouldn't get this hot in England. There's no reason for it. Isn't this weather less expressive? Isn't this weather a little excessive? It's like trying way too hard. Nobody's impressed here. If I could, I'd ask the sun to dial it down a notch, but I doubt it'd work. The sun isn't well known for being reasonable, or for caring for what puny mortals may think. It's so bright, it's blinding. It's really freaking warm. Forget looking like a corpse. I'm starting to feel like one. I have decayed one that's been left on a mortuary slab for way too long. Fortunately, the ice cream is helping. It feels pleasantly cool against my tongue, and I sigh as I lap it up. I eat my ice cream slowly, with careful consideration. I want to enjoy it for as long as possible. But Lisbeth is less circumspective. She falls upon her sweet treat like a plague of locusts, wearing a human-sized bodysuit. That's a truly horrific thought. And devours it in a handful of minutes, clutching the comb between her teeth to smithereens. Ah, that was delicious. My head feels rather tingly now, but it was worth it. I have what we call a brain freeze. But as I've told you, I believe, probably on like Friday evening, I do not get brain freezes. For my body is wired in the most peculiar of ways possible. I feel as though I haven't been born again. Good on you. You say true, but doth thou remember what it was exactly I get instead of brain freezes? Since they found you in the woods, sleeping off an enchantment for centuries, that'd make it like your second miraculous revitalization. Yes, I suppose it would, and you are in fact correct. I get eye freezes in the single right eye. No other eye, just my right eye. Oh wow, that is quite the thing that happens. I'm still don't know why. Energetic though I am, even I was beginning to droop in the face of its extreme heat. It is hotter now than it was in your time, I guess. Now let me think. Lisbeth ponders. I cannot recall if it was any great deal of accuracy. The summer months would be rather hot, I suppose. Often Leaf and I would bidden to pause at our travels to bathe in whatever lakes we came across. But our clothes were made of thicker, coarser material. This dress. Lisbeth picks at her clothes. It's a good dress. Is much, much lighter than anything I had to hand centuries hence. Perhaps it really is hotter than it used to be. If so, that's a track. Thanks, global warming. I love you too. I leaned back in my seat, holding one hand to my brow to blot out the summer sunshine when... Oh, Marnie! Your ice cream is leaking. If you do not watch out, it will trickle onto your hands. Please, allow me to aid you. What? Hey! I retort, but alas, too late. Elizabeth leans in, her chest pressing against my arm, and stealthily sneaks out her pink, pointed tongue to lap at my dripping ice cream cone. Elizabeth draws back, grinning, her lower lip speckled with a few droplets of melted vanilla. I think I prefer it to my strawberry ice cream, but your vanilla is very nice too. We're the mint chip lovers in this visual novel. I guess I'm glad you think so. If Lisbeth was one of those people who thinks vanilla is, well, vanilla, we'd have serious problems. It's my favorite flavor for a reason. But did you have to help yourself to my ice cream? You already ate your own. I know, but I wanted to try it. And it was melting, like I said. I would not want any of it to go to waste. That would be too tragic. Particularly when I bought it. Yeah. I roll my eyes. Don't try to pull the "you ought to be grateful" card on me. You're not my mother. Besides, we wouldn't be at this park at all if it weren't for me. I'm the one who bought the tickets. Now keep away from my ice cream, you little thief. I want to enjoy the rest of it at my own pace, in peace. Oh dear, I had no idea my actions would wound you so. I do apologize, Marnie. It's fine, just try to be more considerate next time. Do you wish there to be next time? No, I wish for you to leave my ice cream alone, like I said. Oh right, I see how it is. I apologize once more for my churlishness, my lady. I know it is too late to make amends, but please, allow me to try. With a kiss. I owe you as much. For my unpardonable selfish actions. I was joking. Elizabeth leans forward once more before I can have a chance to retort. But this time, she doesn't make a beeline for my melting ice cream. Instead, she seems rather more fixated upon me. Hell yeah! Or to be precise, my mouth. Mmm! With the sighs, gaily. They are so gay. I love these gays so much. I do, in fact, love them so. They're, in fact, cute little beans. Also, just realized, Marnie has had the same hairpins for the past 2 years. Lisbeth sighs, her eyelids falling shut as her lips mesh against my own. Same. I mean to pull away. I'm not one for PDA. Religious face of affection, but Lisbeth's lips, mouth is so pliant. No sense so sweet. This fleeting desire soon escapes me. I find myself returning the kiss, in earnest, my eyelashes fluttering shut as I do. What the ice cream? The kiss for what feels like a small eternity, secreted away in the shadow when... My attention is broken by a soft splat which sounds uncomfortably familiar. It sounds like a fly to a window pane, but in lieu of any window panes, there's a shortage of flies. I don't think it could be that. I shift back from Lisbeth, breaking the kiss, then look at the ground. There, on my right foot, is a spherical, whitish yellow ball. I glance back at my ice cream cone, which clutched in my hand, but it is, of course, empty. Vanilla ice cream, which should have been sitting on my cone, is nowhere to be seen. Then that means the globe lying on the floor, on the ground. So the melting must be. Oh no! My ice cream! I sniffle. Oh, sweet vanilla ice cream. I hardly knew them. Lisbeth and I play around in Adventure Valley for a few more hours, going on various rides. Thankfully, Elizabeth tries the teacups. Tires of the teacups about our 15th go-around, and generally enjoying ourselves. We don't head off until the park closes at 5, by which point we've wandered around so much my legs started to feel numb. Maybe I should have worn my platform boots for a day. Maybe I should have worn my platform boots for a day spent pounding the pavement. I'm used to impractical footwear, as I go excessively chunky heels are my proverbial bread and butter, but even I get tired of traipsing about in these babies. At least they look cool, which trumps my comfort, more or less. My mother always says, tutting, when she sees me lacing up my boots in the front door, that I'll twist my ankle one day, and end up in the AE. A and E. The ER. What the fuck is A and E? This hasn't happened just yet, though, so I'm prepared to take my chances. We must shuffle on the altar of fashion. Beauty is pain, etc., etc. So, what do you think? Was Venture Valley everything that you'd hoped and dreamed? Not quite so. Not quite, no. No? Lizzie shakes her head. She was to focus on the road. They're better maintained around Brighthrop than they are Fenchapel. That's for certain. But they're also much busier. But she's able to spare me a sideways glance and a smile along with it. It was even better! Lisbeth's enthusiasm is practically palpable. It fizzes in the air like pop rocks, which makes me smile too. My feet might be killing me, but it's worth it to see Lisbeth smile like this. It lived up to your expectations then? I would say so, yes. In fact, I believe it surpassed them. I had little knowledge of these themed parks, nor how entertaining they might be, but today's jaunt quite won me over. I never would have been able to experience such exhilaration when I was alive. Oh yeah? Didn't you get into a bunch of skirmishes back when? Are you saying Adventure Valley is more fun than a sword fight? I didn't get involved in those fights during my day. That was all on Leaf. She was the one who charged into battle, while I cowered behind her. It is a wonder I ever convinced myself I was she. What with my shoddy swordsmanship? Though I suppose it wasn't too terrible, given I was able to best Edmund. Then again, perhaps he is particularly poor with the blade. Lisbeth titters at this, while pulling the car to a halt behind a string of light cars stopping at a red light. The fights Leaf found herself embroiled in, while exciting, I suppose, but there was always an element of danger to them. One wrong move, and she may easily be injured herself. The rides at Adventure Valley offered a degree of danger, but it is all artificial. In reality, they are quite safe, except for when the fucking safety brakes don't function. Oh well, I might have found it hard to walk after I alighted from Atom Splitter, but it was all in good fun. It was all such a rush. I had a good time too. I had forgotten how fast Atom Splitter goes. It's like I make a wild gesture with my hand, though I take care as I do so not to wallop Lisbeth in the head. And then, I move my arm again, and it has 5 loops. It's intense. Yes, indeed, I enjoyed it a good deal. Lisbeth enjoyed Atom Splitter so much, in fact. We went on it twice, despite its long queue of an hour at pop. Menace was a fun ride as well, though it was rather rickety. I banged my head quite a bit. I do not think any ride compares, however, to the teacups. Oh god. And here it was, silly me, trying to recall the best parts of the day, rather than the worst. Why is Lisbeth so enchanted with those freaking cups anyways? They don't go upside down like Atom Splitter and Menace. They can only spin. Are you being serious right now? Oh yes, I am quite serious. The teacups were the pinnacle of entertainment. I could have ridden on them at least a dozen times over. We've rode them a dozen times already, though. I can't believe the cups were your favorite. You have to be messing with me. I assure you, I am being serious. Though the spinning cups were not, I confess, my favorite part of the whole day. No? I mean, I'd hope not. No, my favorite part of the day was spending time with you. Thank you, Marnie, for taking me out on a date, and for cheering me up. I really do feel a lot better now. Oh, right. I got them from Lisbeth, abashed by the sudden display of affection, and look out the window. Lisbeth and I are on the outskirts of Rythrope now. Rythrope. Now a grey, grim retail park passes by. A square plaza populated by a Matalan and a TJ Hughes and a bunch of other cheaper clothing stores. Mother's Covet. I wouldn't wear any clothes from Matalan if you paid me. I doubt you'd be able to find any boots like mine there. Only corsets, for that matter. You'd be better off going to a charity store. The clothes might have been salvaged from, like dead people's homes, but at least they're more interesting than the bland stare in pieces you find at more mainstream stores. The retail park and the vast expanse of the road about it isn't very interesting, but Lisbeth's words are. The compliments seem to be wormed their way into my heart, because it's pounding pretty hard. She sure knows how to get to me. It's fine, really. You don't need to thank me. I was just trying to be a good girlfriend, and I thought you looked like you could use some cheering up. I could indeed. You're right about that. You often are when it comes to the pair of us. I feel like you know me better. You know me better, to some extent, than I know myself. Lisbeth laughs slightly, while taking a turn about this dual carriageway. That might be true, in fact. For a long time, I thought of myself as Lee. I fear my own judgment cannot be trusted. Not all the time. I'd like to refute that, but Lisbeth does like those spinning teacups way more than any ordinary human would. That makes it kind of tricky to jump to a defense. I trust you, though, Marnie. While I enjoyed my time in Adventure Valley, I know I would not have liked it so much if I had been on my own. It is your company that truly makes this century worth living in. Well, thanks, I guess. I scratch my cheek with my index finger, all the while marveling at how warm my cheeks feel. I bet I'm doing a real good job of human lava lamp here. I curse my mutinous skin, which seems determined to show me off in all of its lurid luminescence. I think the century is worth living in for way more reasons than just me, though. I'm just one girl, and I'm not all that special. So I'm glad you feel that way. I do feel that way, and do not say that about yourself, Barney. You are very special. Not to the world at large, perhaps, but to me. You are the best girlfriend I could hope for. And this date was one of the best I have ever been on. Of that, I am quite certain. Well, then, that's very sweet of you. I had a lot of fun, too. Discounting the obnoxious lady at the ticket booth, I don't think I've forgotten. And the screaming kid in the cups. Hitcher Valley's smaller than I remember as a kid. It's more run down, but that didn't undo the fun I had with Lisbeth. I just hope the cheery, contented mood that settled between Lisbeth and I, the rumbling car, lasts until we arrive back in Fenchapel. And I think that is a good spot to end it here. It's nearing 7, which means it's nearing time for me to have my shower and eat my dinner. In that order, indeed. But thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this Sapphic Sunday. I enjoyed it. I had lots of fun. I had fun. I enjoyed it. I'm excited to see what's in store for Monty and Elizabeth next week. Because next week will probably, unless something comes up, will be more of the Fairy Secret. It was very fun. I enjoyed it. Again, I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Hope you're enjoying my really inconsistent voice for Marnie. Because I keep changing from a British to a slightly more northernist voice. Then it keeps going back and forth to different things, and I can't decide what voice I want to give her. Either way, I hope you enjoyed it. At least Lisbeth was the same throughout the whole thing. Because I only have the one Shuni voice. Lol. Which is Fischl, Princess and Edward Ertelong. But either way, I hope you enjoyed. I had lots of fun. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what is up next with Marnie and Elizabeth. Next stream will probably be tomorrow. We're gonna be playing an old game, a classic, a childhood classic game of mine. Yeah, it'll be fun. Maybe we'll be playing a little RPG. You know, a super RPG, if you will. But yeah, I'll be excited for that. I bought it on Saturday along with another game on Saturday. Both games I bought on Saturday were not Saturday, Friday. Bought on Friday. Both games are childhood classics, and we're gonna be playing one of them tomorrow. I'm excited for that one. It's going to be interesting. I've never played that one myself. I never played both of them myself, actually, if you think about it. But I do know most of this. I do remember most of it, and I know how to play the game. But either way, that is it for today. We are, of course, going to go say hi to Leary, who is, as she was very excited throughout the whole week, she is doing the Tower of Festival 2 DLC, Road to Elysium, if I remember the correctly, is Road to Elysium, because, yeah, Road to Elysium. I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm gonna go have a shower, and then have some dinner, and then maybe play a game at the evening. I'm not sure. The group hasn't said anything about whether it's happening tonight or not. But definitely tomorrow, 3 p.m. ST will be a throwback game. A nice classic to my childhood. Until then, I will see you in my next stream. Bye-bye!